So let's talk strategy.
Okay.
What are some of the things or tips that you've seen work within your grief circle in terms of tips for dealing with grief?
I love this question, and I want to preface this answer by saying this. Some days your grief is going to be heavier than other days because that is the natural process of grief. Some days you're not going to want to get out of bed, and I'm not going to be the person to sit here and tell you to force yourself to. Sometimes you need extra rest. Sometimes pushing yourself to go to the gym isn't the best option. Sometimes waking up early that day isn't the best option. And so everything I'm going to share right now, I want you to know that part of this healing process for you is getting in tune with what it is that you need and not shoulding yourself into, well, I should be doing this, but really being able to listen and say, I need rest today, or I need to take care of myself today. One thing that we know about grief is that it loves to come out of our body and be expressed in some type of way. One of the best ways that we can do that is through writing. Writing is so cathartic. And what writing does for us is it actually puts us in this place of control in a very uncontrollable situation where we feel like we lack control, where our brain is kind of able to process through memories or details of the situation in the way that we want to start remembering them. It puts us in control as kind of an author or a narrator of what's going on. And by doing that, it can help us process feelings that you might not have even known that you have had, or give a place that brings your story to life so that it's not just living deep inside of you. So whether that looks like writing for 5 minutes a day or once a week, no one even has to read it. Or maybe that is a way that you find out you communicate your feelings better. I've been a writer since I was little. So when I went through hard things when I was little, I would go home and I would write, and then I would throw my poetry under my bed because that was my safe space. But now, as I'm older, sometimes because of the grief me and my husband have personally been through, sometimes I struggle still communicating that with him, even though I know the reasons behind it, even though I know the research and all these things, I still struggle. And so sometimes I have to write things out for myself so that then I can communicate that with him.
Anyone who's listening, if you think that, okay, journaling is something I did in my adolescence, I don't have time for that, I've outgrown that. Try writing about something that maybe you haven't thought about in a while that was painful. And I want you to consider looking back at it, like reread it after you've written it. And I wonder if you find that there are certain things that you probably didn't know that you forgot that you remembered using this exercise. And there's a whole field called narrative therapy where you learn how to rewrite your story in a way that actually empowers you and helps you face some of your current challenges.